Hey y'all, welcome back to the archives. As usual, I'm Brittany, and this story isn't for the weak-hearted. When innocence meets horror, true stories of the unthinkable. Innocence is supposed to be untouchable. A child's laughter, a carefree afternoon, the safety of home. These are the things we associate with purity. But sometimes the world has other plans. Sometimes darkness seeps into places where it should never exist. These are the stories where innocence met horror, and the outcome, unimaginable. It was Valentine's Day of the year 2000, a day for candy hearts and whispered secrets. But in Shelby, North Carolina, a different kind of mystery was unfolding. 9-year-old Asha Degree, a little girl with bright eyes and an even brighter smile, vanished. It happened in the dead of night. A storm raged outside, the kind that rattles windows and keeps you huddled beneath the covers. But Asha, she got out of bed, packed a backpack, and then she walked out of her house and into the storm. Her parents, asleep in their beds, had no idea. They woke to an empty room, a daughter gone. The terror they must have felt in that moment. It's unimaginable. The police were called. A search began. Neighbors, family, strangers, everyone joined in, desperate to find Asha. Days turned into weeks. Weeks bled into months. Hope, that fragile thing, began to dwindle. There were whispers, theories. Had she run away? But Asha wasn't the type. She was a homebody, afraid of the dark. Why would she walk out into a storm in the middle of the night? Then, a break. A truck driver came forward. He'd seen Asha walking along Highway 18 miles from home at around 4 a.m. What was she doing there? Who was she going to meet? The questions hung heavy in the air. A year passed, and then another clue buried like a secret in the earth. Asha's backpack, wrapped in plastic. But Asha, she was gone. 16 years have passed since that stormy Valentine's Day. 16 years of questions without answers. Asha's case remains unsolved. Did someone take her? Did she run away, terrified of something we can only imagine? The truth, like Asha herself, remains lost in the shadows. 1957, Philadelphia. A city steeped in history, but also haunted by secrets. It was in the woods on a cold February day that one of the city's most enduring mysteries unfolded. A cardboard box, discarded among the trees, held a chilling discovery: the body of a young boy. He was small, no more than 4 or 5 years old. His body was wrapped in a cheap blanket, his hair crudely cut, as if someone had tried to disguise him. He was emaciated, bruised, his tiny body bearing the marks of unimaginable cruelty. But the most haunting detail? No one knew who he was. The police launched an investigation, determined to give this little boy a name, to find out who had done this to him. They canvassed the neighborhood, put up posters, even dressed the boy in a tiny suit and posed him for photos, hoping someone would recognize him. But the leads went nowhere. He was a ghost, a child without a past, his story lost to the shadows. Years turned into decades. The case grew cold, but it never faded from public memory. The boy in the box became a symbol of lost innocence, a reminder that even in death, some souls remain nameless, their stories untold. Then, in 2019, a glimmer of hope. Advances in DNA technology allowed investigators to build a genetic profile for the boy. They uploaded his DNA to genealogy databases, hoping to find a match, a family member who could finally give him back his name. And then, a breakthrough, a match, a family tree. Finally, after 65 years, the boy in the box had a name: Joseph Augustus Zarelli. He had a family, a history, a life that had been stolen from him. But the mystery isn't over. While Joseph's identity has been revealed, the circumstances surrounding his death remain shrouded in darkness. Who were his killers? Why did they take his life? These questions linger, a reminder that even in the age of DNA technology, some secrets refuse to stay buried. Chapter 5. The Slenderman Stabbing When Fiction Turns Deadly, the Internet. A vast and sprawling world full of information, connection, and sometimes terrifying darkness. In 2014, the line between the virtual and the real blurred in the most horrifying way imaginable. Two 12-year-old girls, Morgan Geyser and Anissa Wire, lured their friend, Peyton Leutner, into the woods near their homes in Waukesha, Wisconsin. They had a plan. A twisted plan born from the darkest corners of the internet. They were going to kill Peyton as a sacrifice to Slenderman. Slenderman, a fictional horror character, a tall, faceless figure in a black suit, known for stalking and abducting children. He was a creature of the internet, born from creepypastas and online forums, a figment of someone's imagination. But for Morgan and Anissa, Slenderman was real, his presence as tangible as the trees in the woods that day. Peyton, unaware of the horror that awaited her, followed her friends into the woods. They had been inseparable since elementary school, sharing secrets, dreams, and a love for fantasy. But that day, fantasy turned into a nightmare. Morgan and Anissa attacked Peyton, stabbing her repeatedly with a kitchen knife, 19 times. They left her for dead, her body broken and bleeding on the forest floor. They believed they had to do it, that Slenderman demanded a sacrifice, that he would harm their families if they didn't obey. But Peyton refused to die. She crawled to a nearby road where she was found by a cyclist. She was rushed to the hospital, clinging to life. Her survival was nothing short of a miracle. The case sent shockwaves across the nation. How could two young girls, barely teenagers themselves, commit such a horrific act? The answer, it seemed, lay in the dark corners of the internet, where fantasy and reality had become dangerously intertwined. Morgan and Anissa were arrested and charged with attempted first-degree intentional homicide. Their trial was a media sensation, raising questions about the influence of the internet on young minds, the power of delusion, and the very nature of evil. In the end, both girls were found not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect. They were sentenced to treatment in mental health facilities, where they remain to this day. Peyton, meanwhile, has made a remarkable recovery, but the scars of that day, both physical and emotional, will likely stay with her forever. The Slenderman Stabbing serves as a chilling reminder that the line between fantasy and reality can be dangerously thin, especially for young minds susceptible to the influence of the internet. It's a story that continues to haunt us, a cautionary tale about the dark side of the digital age. These cases, each one a chilling echo of innocence lost, remind us of one unsettling truth. The world can be a dark and unpredictable place. Sometimes the real monsters aren't hiding under the bed. They walk among us. They smile at us. And sometimes they wait for the perfect moment to strike. So what do you think? Were these cases truly accidents, or is there something more sinister at play? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you love exploring the dark and mysterious, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Because in Brittany's archive of curiosity, the truth is always stranger than fiction. Stay curious, my friends.